Hello everyone, I'm ExtraCheesy87 and this is Let's Play AI The Somnium Files Part 17. In the previous video, we beat the game, kind of, right? That was last video where we got to the end of Mizuki's route. And now we went back in time to see the alternate version of Ota Somnium. Where now we're on the case of Mayumi.
Could you spare some time?
Who probably didn't do it because she's too small.
I finally remembered about the warehouse. I did it.
That seems unlikely.
I did everything.
Okay, well, never mind, we didn't get to talk to Mayumi after all. Okay, we'll talk here.
I didn't do this last night because I wanted to give you a chance to calm down. How are you, now that you've slept on it?
What are you talking about?
I'll be honest, I don't think you're the killer. You're giving us a false confession.
No, it's true. I kidnapped that witch, I took her to the warehouse, and...
Put her on the table and pulled her eyeball out?
Yes.
I don't really know why she would be false confessing. There's two ideas. A, the idea that she's the killer has been like planted into her brain, and because she has memory issues, she maybe thinks that she actually did do it, or she's covering for someone. But why would she be covering for someone? I feel like it makes more, like, my idea right now would be that for some reason she does think she did it. And not that she's trying to cover for someone.
And the polar bear costume?
I bought it through mail order.
And you were the one wearing it?
Yes, that's right.
Date, the criminal has confessed. Arrest her immediately.
Boss, I'm gonna be honest. We're gonna try and be like, you know, not a shit cop.
You got to the top of Abyss acting like that?
Yes. Arrest records are through the damn roof. You know how many criminals, quote unquote, have been caught under her reign?
I heard that she used to be an actress.
Sounds about right.
Camera used for interrogation? I mean, like, sure, some of them say they didn't do it, but, like, all criminals say they didn't do it. Desk. Can't see the boss either. I mean, presumably she's real, but it does always freak me out when we look in the mirror and they're not here. Like they're a damn ghost. Mayumi looks tense. Alright, were you the one who stabbed Oda?
Well...
You were in the polar bear costume, right? That means you stabbed it.
Yes! I stabbed him with the knife I brought from home. I wasn't trying to hurt him.
I was just trying to check his heart.
He fought me, and then it just...
You know how stabbings go. Sometimes, you know, you're just minding your own business, and before you know it, your hands right in their chest cavity. Why'd you want to stream it online?
Because the world needs to see that witch die.
Just a quick question, Mayumi. Do you know anything about online streaming?
I'm not stupid. I might be old, but...
Even I know the internet's just a series of tubes.
Could you explain it to me?
Huh?
Step by step. Just tell me what you did.
I can't explain it in words. It's more like muscle memory. I was able to get it working after trying a few times, that's all.
I mean, that's not that insane. If you like look up a tutorial or something, you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just following this tutorial. I could almost believe that.
I picked the them out of the garbage.
Which garbage?
I don't remember. It's true. I planned the whole thing.
Asking for a friend, where might we find these garbages that just have working computers and video equipment in them? Because that sounds like something I could use.
My son is under that witch's spell.
Well, I mean, you're probably right about that.
Merchandise, concerts. She's bleeding him dry. I wanted to snap him out of it. I wanted to save him.
I mean, cool motives. Still murder, but...
Because I just hated her so much. Killing her wasn't enough.
I mean, you sawed her in half. That's pretty hardcore. If you ask me, I'd rather get sawed in half. I mean, have my eye taken. Actually, I don't know. I like my eye. I mean, if it was one eye, yeah, I guess I'd rather be alive than not have. But if it was both eyes, ooh, then you're...
What do you know about the Cyclops killer? We call the criminal we're after the new Cyclops killer.
I know. They killed Shoko Nadami and Renju Okiura.
That's right. Both corpses were found with their left eye pulled out, same as Iris. This leads us to believe that the crimes were all committed by the same person.
Well, not necessarily.
So this person in the polar bear costume.
What if it was just 3 people who independently are like, I hate left eyes?
They are the new Cyclops killer. And you're telling me that person is you? You killed Shoko and Renju?
Yes, I killed them.
Okay, what was your motive?
Isn't Renju Okiura the president of that awful company where the witch works? He's just as responsible, using her to steal time and money from vulnerable kids. And I'm sure he was debaucherous and degenerate.
I don't know about debaucherous. Definitely a little degenerate.
That man is the root of all evil.
I don't know about that.
That's why I killed him.
I mean, he's not a good person. Root of all evil. Okay, why'd you kill Shoko?
Renju's ex-wife, right? I did it to get to him.
What?
But the two divorced 4 years ago.
That doesn't matter. The bonds of matrimony are eternal.
Doubt? Big, heavy doubt energy?
In your opinion, I don't think Renju felt the same way.
You are really starting to aggravate me. I answered your questions, so there.
Okay. When and how did you kill her?
Well, I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember? Do you really think that lie is gonna work?
I have a memory disorder. I don't always remember everything. It's not my fault.
But you remember the cold storage warehouse.
There are times I remember and times I don't remember. It changes.
Date, Mayumi is not lying about that in particular. There are circumstances that might cause selective memory. For whatever reason, her memory might not have been stored properly in her mind.
Do we know if she has dementia in this route, actually? Now I think about it. I guess we technically don't have that information yet, because we didn't get that until... I don't remember when we got that. I think we have that already, though. Because we got that after Oda's in the hospital. And that would have been before we did a Somnium.
This is not uncharacteristic for those suffering from dementia.
Okay, so we are supposed to know this.
I am not lying.
I thought maybe that conversation was to... Because it would be kind of... This sequence would be a little bit more interesting if you didn't know she had memory issues, I guess.
You do know that perjury is a crime,
Or
right?
if that was like a revelation, but...
I'm telling you, I'm not lying.
Also, she's not under oath. It's not perjury.
I killed Shoko and Rinju, and I tried to cut that demon witch in half.
Date, there's no point in letting this go on. She's clearly lying.
You seemed convinced earlier.
I was kidding.
I was just kidding about imprisoning the person who didn't do anything wrong for the rest of their life.
I don't think she's the killer.
It would mean I wouldn't have to worry about this killer business anymore, though, if we just arrested someone.
I am the killer! I am!
Right now, we have to rely on hard evidence. The Odoroki Man chocolate that Mayumi bought was found at the warehouse.
If Mayumi was at the scene before Ota,
She may have seen the criminal's face.
You know what I'm going to say, right? Date. Sync with her.
Oh, yeah, so it's either that Oda is involved in the killing, or for some reason she truly does
Computer,
think...
we're going to sync with Mayumi Matsushita. Prepare the machine.
Because, I mean, it is still possible Oda was involved in the killing, even though he gets murdered in that other route. Because I think for now, it's fair to assume that any information we find in other routes is applicable to the... Since they're not like complete alternate realities, right? So I think we can assume, for instance, that So was at the warehouse even in this route, despite us not knowing it. So what it could have been is that in the route where Oda dies, So betrays him and kills him. Like maybe they're working together for some reason or another. And then in the route where he doesn't get killed, it could either be that it's all staged, or Oda did, change his mind and they fought or something. Or that maybe So did mean to betray Oda all along. I don't know.
What happened?
The sync machine isn't operating to capacity. Yesterday's sync, well, suffice to say, Oda and Date were not too compatible.
What?
Compatible?
I'll give you the big picture. To get the synchronization working properly, I had to push the machine pretty hard. And now, it's not responding.
How long will it take to fix?
16 hours, at least.
You've got 8.
But that's impossible.
So we can't sync yet, huh?
But we need to, or this investigation is going nowhere.
Date, I suggest we go to Matsushita Diner. We may be able to find some clues.
Good idea.
That boss and Pewter no.
Pewter, we're counting on you for those repairs. I'll be back in 6 hours.
But you said 8. Please, you have to give me at least 8.
That Pewter, always so humble. He'll have it done in 6.
Then we'll be back in 4.
Yeah, Pewter is just that kind of guy, you know?
Hey, this is a hostile work environment.
Not really hostile. Expecting you to work miracles. Sure.
Why would Mayumi lie?
She is probably protecting someone.
But who?
Surely you know by now. There is only one person Mayumi would want to protect that badly.
Us, because we're so cool, right? Oda, Mizuki, So. I mean, presumably Oda.
It's Ota.
It has to be.
Does Mayumi think Ota is the killer?
Last night, Ota left Matsushita Diner with Iris. Mayumi saw the whole thing.
But Ota was stabbed in the stomach by the culprit. Does Mayumi not remember that?
No, that isn't quite it. It is possible that she thinks Ota is responsible for everything.
She thinks Ota stabbed himself?
Yes.
Why would he do that?
Before I explain, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Honestly, see, I would think he stabbed himself, but you know, the information we have from the other ending, or the other route where he dies, makes it seem like that's not the case.
What do you think about the possibility that Ota is the new Cyclops killer?
Or that there's maybe more to it than just he stabbed himself?
Impossible.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's unlikely he's the sole killer.
Why?
Because of the steering wheel. Dashboard. Because of this rearview mirror. Put it in my glove box. Purple hands. Why can't Ota be the culprit? Well, there is the van. I mean, theoretically, he could have, you know, I mean, he can still be involved, but he would not be the sole person.
The van was stolen while Iris was in the passenger seat. We know that whoever did it is the culprit we're looking for.
There is a chance that Iris was not in the passenger seat. She could have been driving.
How so?
Iris could have taken the wheel herself and driven to the warehouse.
But forensics only found Ota's fingerprints on the wheel.
That can be explained. It is possible that Iris covered her fingertips with her sleeves.
And well, why would she do that, though? Ota and the polar bear.
In yesterday's Somnium, Ota and the polar bear.
That was just a dream. It doesn't necessarily reflect what happened in reality.
Get looked at. Had her eye taken out.
Iris had her left eye pulled out. Ota would never do that.
I don't know about that. Ota's a damn freak, alright?
Have you considered that she pulled it out herself?
No, I already went down this line of reasoning. I thought the same thing, Iva. Well, I didn't think she pulled her own eye out. I thought maybe she was, you know, using like makeup or something to make it seem like her eye was gone. And faking her death. But her ass got sawed in half, presumably.
What?
Or even asked Ota to do it. Perhaps she ordered him to.
I don't understand.
In short, Ota and Iris are accomplices. This was all a performance.
No, I already said this, Iva. You're late to the damn party. You gotta go back to like part 8 or whatever. Alright, we're living in a part 17 world. We're way past this.
A performance?
Iris drove the Matsushida's van. Ota drove the station wagon. They went to the warehouse separately. Then, they prepared the live stream. Iris anesthetized her left eye and removed it.
I feel like you wouldn't do that. You could fake it pretty convincingly with makeup. I mean, I guess it'd be a time, but I mean, they had hours. Well, when did they say they stole the van at what, 10? Yeah, they had hours. You can do some pretty convincing stuff, and plus she's in the entertainment industry. She should have at least some level of knowledge.
Either that, or she asked Ota to extract it.
But I guess we actually know her eye is gone in this one, right? Since she lived.
After that, Iris took her position on the table, and Ota donned the polar bear costume and started the saw.
But I guess what I'm saying is, like, if it was a fake performance, it makes more sense to not actually rip your eyeball out. That just seems like a little extreme.
Consider this. In the stream, Ota and the polar bear were never on screen at the same time.
True.
I mean, you're not revealing anything to me, Iva.
That means Ota went off camera, took off the costume, and then...
Stay away from Tessa!
Perhaps Mayumi witnessed the entire event. It is also possible that Mayumi knew what the two were up to.
So she lied to protect Ota.
Yes, but this is only a theory. Consider the possibility that Iris killed Shoko and Renju.
then, this whole thing was to get her off the suspects list. That's why she pulled out her eye and had Ota stab himself. It makes it look like there's another criminal involved.
I will repeat myself in saying that this is only a theory. It is one of many possibilities.
It's possible, but I don't think it's very likely. They wouldn't go that far just to avoid suspicion.
Yeah, you definitely, like... You could maybe do the fake saw stuff. And be like, okay, we're gonna pretend I'm gonna saw you in half, but... You would still keep your eye and be like, oh, they were totally just gonna take it out, but they didn't.
Date, you must consider the mental state of the serial killer. Shoko and Renju were both exposed and displayed. And they both had their left eye removed while they were still alive. Whoever our killer is, it is clear that they are sociopathic or even psychotic.
We can't rule anything out.
Yeah, but they're also... Killers are kind of fundamentally selfish, so I don't think they just rip their eye out. It just seems a little much for me. Also, we were cursed with bad luck at the Matsushita Diner. We get hit by a damn walk again? Oh, because I didn't do the ritual?
Ota, why are you...
Why did you arrest Mom? You said you were gonna clear her! Why?
I do like how he had to be on the thing so he could stand even with Date. On like the ledge. Kitchen swinging door counter. They didn't say anything about the swinging door, then there's probably nothing. One more thing. Alright, well... Get looked at. Like Ota's calmed down. So... worried about Iris?
So worried that my stomach is in knots. The surgery was successful, but they told me she isn't out of the ICU yet.
What about Mayumi?
Of course I am! That's my mom! What son wouldn't be worried about his mom?
Why are you here?
When I was in the hospital, the police came to me. They told me that my mom confessed. I couldn't believe it, so I went to the police station. But because she was under investigation, they wouldn't let me see her. After that, I didn't feel like going back to the hospital. That's why I'm here.
It's not like Mayumi's under arrest.
You asked me why your mom was arrested earlier, but she isn't under arrest.
She's, in detention. It's different.
What?
Being detained.
I spoke with her as part of my investigation, yes. But as a source of valuable information, not as a suspect. Mayumi confessed, but it's highly likely that she's lying. So we haven't issued a warrant for her arrest.
That's what I've been saying! Mom didn't do it, she's innocent!
I will probe her brain, though. Presuming she doesn't, like, die somehow first. Is Iris the criminal?
Word is going around.
Word is going around. It's just you, Date.
Maybe Iris was the one who killed Shoko and Renju.
There's no word, you're just talking to yourself all the time.
And you and her planned this warehouse incident to get her off our suspects list.
No way! Tessa!
Everyone's talking about it.
She could have pulled it out herself, or asked you to do it.
You're kidding me, right? Do you really think I would do that? I was fighting for my life against the criminal!
That wasn't caught on camera, though. Neither was the part where you got stabbed.
You're saying that I stabbed myself?
It wouldn't be the first time you faked something, would it, Ota?
You...
Did you stage the warehouse incident?
I'm telling you, I didn't!
Then why is Mayumi protecting you?
Mom is protecting me?
Your mother is stubborn. She's lying to us because she's protecting someone. The only person I can think of would be you.
Why?
Apparently, she thinks that you're the criminal.
Why would she think that?
Your guess is as good as mine. Got any ideas?
Maybe because of her condition. Mom has dementia. Maybe her memory is just mixed up.
About Mayumi's dementia.
Everything is my fault. It's because of me that Mom is... I know how it looks now, but back in the day, the diner was doing pretty good. You know Bloom Park is close by here, right? People who visited the park would stop here a lot. But ever since the explosion 8 years ago...
The chemical plant accident?
Yeah. We're just barely outside of the restricted area, but... because Bloom Park closed, the number of customers dropped by a lot. The diner didn't last much longer. When this place closed, Dad started working at a Chinese restaurant chain during the day, and he was a security guard and traffic cop at night. Mom worked as a janitor. They were both working hard and barely got any sleep.
And you?
I was just a high school student at the time. I was such a dumbass.
Was?
I thought it was totally normal to have both parents working, so I didn't even get a part-time job. And they bought me a PC and Idol concert tickets. I had it good, but we were drowning in debt.
So that could be the link to the Kumakuras.
There's a loan on the house and the diner. Mom and Dad didn't let this place go. There are too many memories here to give it up. So they slaved day and night to keep it open. They worked and worked and worked. Thanks to them, I was even able to go to a good university, but right after I started, Dad...
Passed away?
Yeah, he had a heart attack. From overwork. But even then, I didn't get it, you know? I didn't appreciate how hard they worked for me. Even when I wasn't taking college seriously and getting bad grades, my mom didn't say a thing. She just smiled and told me that it was okay, even when I told her I was going to drop out. Mom, I'm thinking of dropping out of college.
What? Why do you want to do that, Ota?
I decided that I'm going to become a writer.
Wow, a writer. Oh, that's a good goal to have.
Well, you should probably still finish the college first, just in case.
But you really should finish college. You worked so hard to get in.
Well, how deep are you in it? If you're like just starting, yeah, maybe, but I mean, if you've put any significant time in, you should.
You don't understand, Mom. A writer has to put all of their time into their creativity. I won't have time to go to classes.
You don't have to become a writer right now.
Plus, I'm friends with the editor of a publishing company. I'm definitely going to have my first book published.
Definitely.
Is that right? Well, Ota, if you say so, I won't stop you. Do what makes you happy. You'll turn out just fine. I know you can do it. And no matter what happens, Mom will always be on your side, okay? Forever and ever, I'll always support you, Ota.
Ota, your ass better not be a killer, alright? Mayumi deserves better? You lied about the editor thing, right?
Yeah, how do you guess?
Because you're not published?
It was really just a few texts back and forth. But I was thrilled. I thought I could make it as a writer because of that. But it's impossible. I know there's no way I can be a writer.
Well, anybody can be a writer. You just might not be a good/popular one.
I've never even finished writing a novel. Not even once.
Maybe you should write smaller things then.
I always give up after the first 5,000 words.
That's not a lot.
To even apply for the amateurs contest, you have to submit 10 times that. But Mom, she kept supporting me.
5,000 words of prose is like basically nothing. No offense, Oda.
Not long after I quit college, Mom was always smiling at me. But I think she was starting to slip mentally. One day.
Oh, what's wrong, Ota? Do you have the day off from school?
Are you being sarcastic?
Oh, right. You don't attend anymore. Oopsie, I totally forgot.
How can you forget your own son's career choice?
Sorry. Anyway, are you hungry? You haven't eaten anything since this morning, have you?
Are you kidding?
What?
I ate breakfast and lunch already.
Oh, did you?
I mean, I could see getting a little annoyed at the first comment. If you don't know she already has memory issues, I could definitely see thinking that's meant to be like a shot across the bow of, oh, why aren't you in college? Oh, wait, I forgot, you dropped out and now you're a failure. Like, that would rub me the wrong way too. But can't be mad about breakfast and lunch comments.
By the way, Ota, what's living at the dorms like?
Why are you making fun of me?
I'm not teasing you, honey.
Don't fuck with me!
I mean, I somewhat get, part of that reaction. I think if I was in that situation, where, you've probably got a lot of self-hatred going on there, feeling like you've, wasted your life. I can see how you would feel like that.
Mom got sick because I'm such a piece of shit. I was only thinking about myself. I didn't take care of her.
Well, that's not fair. Dementia's not...
I was so stupid, I didn't realize she was sick. I thought she was messing with me.
Well, yeah, you probably should have figured out.
I was so cruel to her for no reason. And she got worse and worse.
But if that was like the first real incident, right? I think being angry is kind of an acceptable reaction there. But you should also quickly realize that there's something wrong there.
What's that picture?
I just turned the photo frame to me so I could see.
Looking at this photo reminds me, one time when I was a kid, I said something really bad to Mom and Dad, and they scolded me for it. And it's not like it was an apology or anything, but Dad and I gave her a Mother's Day gift. My mom was so happy that she cried. That's what this photo is from. Why did it turn out like this? I'm such a bad son.
Hey, Aiba.
What is it?
I don't like Ota one bit. But I can't imagine that this guy's the criminal.
Why is that?
Hearing his story made me think that he's not such a bad guy.
Your presumption is illogical.
Yeah, Iva's got a point.
Human beings are illogical. We're not like you AI. We can't be logical all the time.
Well, no, I'm saying that it's illogical because somebody can show, human emotion like this and still also be like a piece of shit in other regards. People are weird like that.
But we make up for it in one very important way.
What is that?
Intuition.
Do you find that useful?
At times. Aiba, let's go back to the cold storage warehouse. We might be missing something.
Understood.
Yeah, at the very least, Oda's not He may be involved, but he's not the sole guy. There's some level of coercion at play, presumably. Now, that probably, depending on the circumstances and what he actually did, may not be justified, but I feel like it's hard to see him as, like, completely unconnected, but it's also hard to think he's, like, doing it by himself.
Date, weren't you going to check the warehouse?
I was, but a thought occurred to me.
What thought was that? A red barrier.
Iba, what's in this box?
Your favorite kind of reading material, and a lot of it.
Really?
Academic research papers on criminology?
No, the kind that features gratuitous nudity.
Isn't that academic research papers on criminology? I mean, that's probably like some autopsy photos in there. There's got to be at least a few pictures of some crimes.
Date, look! A tonguefish on the ocean floor.
What's
On
a
the ocean
tonguefish?
floor? I don't think you can see that far.
A flat fish, like the sole of a shoe.
You can see all the way down there?
Of course I can. My vision and my looks are my best qualities.
And why the hell can't I even make out what this is supposed to be? It's all hazy as hell. Tell me you can see all the way to the ocean floor? I don't buy it. Don't lie to me, Iva. Gotta make up some excuse to grab that box.
Just like my you-know-what.
What is your you-know-what?
Detect his intuition?
It could only be one thing.
Oh, your ego?
No, not my ego.
Rain is towering, just like my you-know-what. The warehouse is all in a line. Packed containers. Put that corner container in an empty slot. Will the bottom line disappear?
Iba, who drove the van here?
There are two possible, either Iris or the criminal who kidnapped Iris.
And Mayumi?
Considering the time that she purchased the chocolate, that would be almost impossible. The van was hijacked from the Famisto parking lot at 10:32 p.m. At that time, Mayumi was in the 812 convenience store more than 100 yards away.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, how would Mayumi have even gotten here? Hypothetically. Peace officer, he says, I have any new information. I guess we could also say that about So. We don't really know how he got here. Presumably he had to have been the one driving the van. Most certainly not her.
Iba, are you sure that Ota took this car?
As I've already explained, the security cameras at the Famisto parking lot saw the entire incident clearly.
Or So could have been here ahead of time.
So it was definitely Ota who drove it here.
Why are you stating the obvious?
We found the chocolate Mayumi bought on the floor of the cold storage warehouse. But that doesn't prove she was actually at the scene. If she was, how did she get here? She wasn't in the van or the station wagon.
Of course, a different car. I will search for all vehicles that were in this area from Sunday night to Monday morning.
And as far as we know, she doesn't have another vehicle. And you would think if she did drive up, it would have been left behind. Unless she left before us, which is weird. Because there just wasn't a lot of time between the stabbing and whatnot. You would think any car driving off would have been spotted. I'm connected to the in-system server and began her research. Got a result in no time. Because, like, for So at least, I could see that maybe he was dropped off here ahead of time, runs away. After he gets some distance, he has people he can, you know, come pick him up. Because he has connections. For Mayumi, though, we know she couldn't have been here really ahead of time, because we know at least as of 10. Granted, we don't really know how far away this is from the Famisto place, like how feasible it would have been to walk. But you got a result in no time.
Found one hit. A taxi.
Where's that taxi now?
Yeah, I guess you could have taken a taxi. I guess I didn't really think about the idea of a taxi coming to a dock like this.
It is parked in Lemniscate's parking lot.
At Lemniscate? Why?
Unknown. But we should speak with the driver immediately.
Police officer.
Hey, got a minute?
Hello.
Are you talking to moi?
New character just dropped.
Moi?
Date, now is not the time to be distracted by this old man's diction.
Mind if I ask you what you're doing here?
Moi? I am but a humble taxicab driver.
There we go.
I'm with the police. I have some questions for you.
First things first.
Ah, this is Magnus Spiel.
Is it?
How do you know?
Magnus Spiel's promotional video is playing? A high table?
Date, look! An antlion! Yay! Go, antlion!
That has a strange fascination with insects. I like how they have to add that line after every time in case you click on one of these and you get you get one of Iba's bug lines, and if you haven't seen the previous ones, you're extremely confused. Why she's so excited? A large window.
Sofa King.
Don't.
A sofa. Lots of magazines
Feature.
in that
Anyone
rack.
can run a pyramid scheme.
That's true. That's pretty true.
I believe I'll purchase that on my way home.
There's probably an office back there. That's what they want you to think.
A high stool. It's like a tall seat.
That joke was so fucking bad.
Why are you stating the obvious?
High stools are placed around the table. Company's logo, Lemniscate. An abstract painting.
Oh, have you taken note of the painting? It is titled Lions Fishing, Carpe Diem.
Incomprehensible abstract painting displayed on the wall. Oh. I don't want to get the damn titty ending again. It's her with the big tits! I'll click the lines, but... About Iris. As we yell
What?
across the lobby.
You're too far away. I can't hear you.
Okay, at least they recognize that. I walk close to the reception. Oh, God.
Oh, I can't believe Tessa became a victim too. It's like, seriously, can you not? What if I'm next? Freaks me out. Date, could you introduce me to some big, strong man who can protect me?
Nah, I'm sure you'll be fine on your own.
No, I'll totally die.
I don't think you're important enough to die. Oh, we still have another question.
What? You gotta come closer. I can't hear you.
Ate.
Well, what can I
That's
say,
A.
you know? The biz is harsh, schedules are tight. If we shut down for even a day, we'd throw everyone else's schedules off.
I don't even remember what the question we asked was. What did we ask? Something about the business as usual here?
So they want to avoid that, of course.
Oh wait, there's the notes I forgot I have to ask.
Huh? Oh, you asked me out before, didn't you?
Absolutely not.
But it's kind of complicated. I told you, I am reptilian.
But you were just joking, right?
No, I'm serious. I only eat vegetables.
I am fairly sure she means vegetarian.
Nah. She eats bugs too. That's why she's reptilian. Her with the big tits. Okay. A self-employed taxi driver. Where are you from?
I was born in Kawago, Saitama.
And why do you talk like that?
I don't know what you mean. I've spoken this way all my life. My parents speak with the same vernacular.
Well, what you doing here?
I have just finished conveying my client from Tameke Sano's studio. I was informed that the visit here would be brief, and thus I have decided to wait in this lobby.
Indubitably. Before I ride at Limnisket, I got a picture of Mayumi from Abyss. I showed it to the driver.
Did you drive this passenger on Sunday night?
Oh, I did indeed. I remember her well. The old hag.
Wow.
Old hag.
I took her on a tour of the streets of Tokyo. Our ultimate destination was the warehouse district in Ariake.
Why didn't you report this to the police?
Report it?
You don't know about the incident at the cold storage warehouse? It was all over the news.
No, I'm afraid not.
Ow.
Newspapers and television news programs have never been much of an interest to moi.
Better stick to the radio.
I recall it was around 10 in the evening. Near the Kabasaki district, an unassuming restaurant named Matsushita Diner. That's where I picked up the old hag. And as soon as she stepped foot in my conveyance, she was already barking orders at me. Follow that van, hurry! I must admit, I found it rather exciting, just like an old chase film. I, of course, insisted that I be paid up front. We pursued the van for roughly half an hour. Suddenly, the van came to a halt at a convenience store.
The Famisto along Koshu, right?
Precisely right. I am surprised you know that. In any case, I knew that the jig would be up if we were seen following the van. So I decided to drive past it. I parked at the 8 store, but 100 yards from there, while waiting for the object of our pursuit to make its next move. The old hag suddenly spoke up. I have to buy something, she declared, then made her way into the 8.
Huh?
This must be when Mayumi bought the Odoroki Man chocolate.
A few minutes later, the old hag finished making her purchases and walked out. And then, at that very moment, I witnessed the van jet off at great speed down Koshu. I hurried the old hag inside my vehicle, then resumed the chase. We followed them for roughly half an hour more.
I see. If the driver's story is correct.
I feel like that doesn't quite add up. Okay. She goes in to the store. Because didn't she buy the chocolate like 1 minute after Oda stole the van? Was it 1 minute before? Like the van would have been stolen before she got out of the convenience store, I feel like. Based on the time frame we were given. I mean, that this is a fairly minor detail. I don't think it really means anything, but I'm pretty sure that was the whole point, was that when the van was stolen, she was inside the convenience store. And this would mean that she wasn't in the convenience store when it was stolen. Now, she was still... couldn't have done it, presumably, but that is a little contradiction.
Mayumi did not know that Ota was left behind at the Famisto.
Mayumi thought Ota was in the van the whole time.
We then arrived at a splendid manor. The van entered the premises through the front gate and disappeared from view.
Yeah, that's probably So's.
We, of course, could not follow, so we waited outside. I estimate another 10 minutes passed. The front gate opened once again, and the van drove out, and we pursued. But 30 minutes later, our pursuit was foiled again.
What happened?
Go over this again. So they followed him for 30 minutes. This would be 11, 11:10, 11:40, roughly.
The van drove into the restricted Kabasaki district. The old hag, of course, demanded that I follow, but I was not about to risk my license and livelihood. Instead, I parked on the road and waited for the van to drive back the way it came. But of course, we knew it might not take the same road back. In fact, we were not even sure the van would be coming back at all. But the old hag was not keen on giving up, so we began our stakeout. About 45 minutes later,
Okay, 45 minutes. So we're like 12:30.
the date had changed at this point. It was 12:25 a.m. on Monday.
Close enough.
How do you remember the time so well?
Well, you see, I always keep my radio dial on the same station. I remember precisely which programs were playing during this endeavor.
See, AM radio pilled.
Thus, I can approximate the time.
I see. Please continue.
At 12:25 a.m., the old hag's tenacious gamble paid dividends. The van returned down the same street, and thus we again made pursuit. I kept considerable distance. We had come so far, I did not want to get caught now. But my caution backfired. I lost sight of the van in the Ariake warehouses. Without so much as a thank you, the old hag popped open the door and took off toward the warehouses. I waited for some time, but the old hag did not return. The goose was cooked at this point, so I made the decision to return home. I am glad I had the foresight to ask for payment in advance.
I have a question.
I follow your story. I have one more question. Where is this manor the van stopped at?
Oh, every taxi driver in the city knows that residence. It is the personal home of Congressman So Sajima.
Sajima? Why did the van go to So's house?
We need to speak with him immediately.
Agreed. Let's move.
To the koi pond. Oh, wait. Do you say anything else? Self-employed taxi driver. Lady.
There's no one here.
Indeed.
I don't see So or his bodyguards.
I do not detect them either.
Let's go inside. Hey, Aiba. Do you smell something funny?
You are aware that I do not possess the sense of smell, correct?
Oh, right.
Like hooked into our brain or something? Wouldn't be too surprised if you could smell, but... Alrighty, we're gonna call it here. Next time we will investigate So's house, see if we can find, you know... something where he wrote down, hey, I'm the dude who did all the bad stuff, and I'm like a not cool guy. He has like just that written down somewhere. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.